Dirty Dancer is asking, why do people care so much about Israel-Palestine?
I have 3 reasons. Do you want to go first?
No, I want to hear your 3 reasons. If I agree with them, then I don't have to speak.
All right. 2 of them are mostly just because of Israel rather than Israel-Palestine. And because of Israel, I'm interested in anything that is relevant to Israel. One is because of the history of Israel. It's just so freaking interesting. Both ancient Israel and modern Israel, both the history of them are ancient Israel is even pre-Judaism. It seems very interesting. Then everything happened. I mean, this is where every single Abrahamic religion is tied to, and even Zoroastrianism, and even Mesopotamian religions is just fun. I don't know. It's just fascinating, and how everything is just connected to Israel somehow when it comes to the history of these ideologies. From a modern perspective, also, when it comes to the birth of different nations, Israel has the most interesting history. It's the history, the birth of Israel as a modern nation state is connected to religion, ethnicity, geopolitics in so many different ways. And and the fact that so many geopolitics of countries in the region and beyond there is tied to what happens to Israel just makes Israel a fascinating country to monitor. And also being interested in Iran's politics, and how the Palestinian, so this is the third one now, the Palestinian cause, how it's usually gets used as a way to by countries like Turkey and Iran to be able to set their own narrative and force their influence in the region using the Palestinian issue. That also makes it very interesting for me to see how that is used. And also actually going to the Palestinians itself, and also for the sake of Israel, here's the thing. I know there are more people, other places that are also a lot of people say, given the size of Israel and Palestine, they do get a lot of more attention compared to, I don't know, what's happening in China or India. True. But at the same time, it does really suck to be, the life under the Gaza Strip is really bad. The standards are very low, and even though, I mean, you don't have to have huge numbers to be able to justify caring about a certain group of people, right? So as much as I defend Israel existing as a country, I think a lot of people who do defend Israel existing as a country don't seem to care that much about Palestinian lives improving, and I think you could do both. They're not contradictory. So that's why another reason why we should care about the Palestinians. But yeah, Ali, what do you have?
Can you hear me? Because my mic
Yeah, I
kicked
can
out for a
hear
little
you.
bit. Okay. Yeah, I think I actually think we care disproportionately too much about Israel and Palestine. I agree with. I know Israel is really interesting historically. I think a lot of it has to do with that. The fact that it was a Jewish homeland and it was after the Holocaust. So it's, oh, sorry, I shouldn't have said that word. I know YouTube's going to strike us. But in any case, there's a that was
Not
basically
strike.
it. They got a homeland. And a lot of people were against it. The Christians didn't like them. The Muslims didn't like them. It happened right in the middle of Arabia. And there's just a lot of attention. So you can have somebody like Omar al-Bashir kill 500,000 Sudanese, people in Sudan. And nobody really cares because it's an Arab leader killing like a whole bunch of black Muslims, or Arab Muslim killing a whole bunch of black Muslims, or, Bashar al-Assad, another Muslim guy killing his own Muslim people, again, 500,000 people. But anything that happens in Israel and Palestine just gets amplified. A lot of it, I think, is because of religion. Like, this is a religious conflict, whatever it is. It's snowballed over the years, and there are geopolitical issues now. There's, land-based issues. There's ethnic issues. There's racial issues. But ultimately, at its root, right, this was between Jews and people who are not Jews and mainly Muslims. So
I don't think you could disproportionately really. Maybe yes, maybe it's disproportional, but I don't see that as a criticism because you care about what you care about, right?
No, it's not a criticism. I understand
Yeah,
why
I know.
people care about it.
I know. I didn't. That's why I said I don't think you meant it as a criticism because even if it's disproportional, if something captures your attention and you care about it, it doesn't have to be the world's biggest thing. It just does. Especially if so many, even if you think it's a smaller thing compared to other issues around the world, if other countries have managed to make it a big thing, then it becomes a big thing. Even if you think it shouldn't be a big thing, it has become a big thing. I mean, for example, my country of birth, Iran, has made it one of the main ways of it for it to exert its influence around non-Shia Muslim population around the Middle East, right? Because how does the Islamic Republic of Iran, how you can't just rely on the Shia narrative to try to sell its influence to Muslims around in the Middle East, because a lot of them are not Shia. So it has to use the guardian of the guardian of the Palestinian people as an agenda. So so that's a big thing.
Yeah. I think I did. So anyway, I don't want to spend too much time on this, but my opinion is that I guess it's like the attention on it is I just feel that it's overblown. I think a lot of the religious aspect also has to do with the commandments. Like in Jewish scripture, it actually says that this land was given to you. Go in and drive the people out from it before you, right? And then in the Quran, the kind of things it says about Jews. I mean, there's a very, very deeply religious rooted thing in it. And I think anything that's religious is just very, very passionate for people. It's because it's the only kind of bigotry, religious bigotry is the only kind of bigotry that's still revered, right? All the other bigotries are looked down upon. So anyway.
I just want to mention that we got a new member. Thank you so much.
Ghost Bunny, thank you.
Thank you.
Hey guys, if you want to join these streams live, get your comments and questions read by Ali and Armin and the guests, and most importantly, to get full access to the full video versions of all these episodes, become a patron. Link in the description below.